Thursday, September 24th. Anthony and I are back with another one of our patron hangouts. Are you a patron? Do you like hangouts?
What about car chases? What about explosions? We
shouldn't be promising anything.
What about sex?
Anthony, we're not...
It's all happening on the live hangout.
Oh boy, does that mean...
patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
I don't want to have sex with you.
Doesn't have to be with me.
Oh.
But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to let you know right now where I stand on this whole thing before we even get started.
What's that?
They's aliens.
You think they's all aliens?
They's all aliens, dog. Think about it.
They can't all be aliens.
Oh, can't they, Jeff? If they isn't people, they's aliens. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canard.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
This is crazy. We found a new species of hominids. Anthony.
They were all living in Wyoming, and nobody ever goes to Wyoming. Nobody knows anybody from Wyoming.
No one's ever been there or seen people from there, and now we realize, oh, look at those people. They're different.
They're 100% different than us.
Yeah.
They are a strange new species. They have completely different customs.
Yeah.
Really wild shit, man.
Wyoming, who knew?
Nobody, because who the fuck goes there?
Bothered to look there.
Name one person from Wyoming.
I can't.
Well, we found them.
No, actually, these were found in Africa. You may have heard about these because this was a pretty big mainstream news story. It was actually
this is actually huge.
This was sent in to us by Lisa Fountain to our email address, which is wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com.
Another great place to send things is our subreddit. wehaveconcerns.reddit.com.
Yes, indeed. This is a huge deal, right? Because we know that there are different Homo sapien type, we are Homo sapien, right? But there are different classifications along the evolutionary chain to get to us, different branches off of that path. This is a new one, a previously unknown version. It's called Homo Naledi. And it's pretty remarkable. These are creatures that have very human-like hands and feet. Yeah. So not ape-like hands and feet. These are very human hands and feet. But much different shoulders. They have shoulders that can rotate in a wider radius than our shoulders can, which indicate that they were climbers.
Dance. It indicates that they were the most beautiful dancers in the history of evolution.
Because as we all know, dancing is like 90% shoulders.
Dude, you laugh. But I'll tell you what,
shoulders.
It's some beautiful shit when somebody's really, flexible in their shoulders.
If you've ever seen Anthony Carboni do the swim.
You know the one where you make it look like there's a wave of energy going from one hand to the other and then it goes back? Imagine that with so much more shoulder motion. Put that on America's Got Talent and I'll tell you what, they would sweep.
Ancient Americans have talent. Prehistoric hominids have talent.
Yeah.
That's what we would have.
And they do. They're beautiful.
You should see, by the way.
They're delicate.
You should see prehistoric Ryan Seacrest. That guy, the shoulders on that guy are angelic.
But Ryan Seacrest isn't the one with the talent.
No.
He's the one talking. But what you're saying is even prehistoric Ryan Seacrest was a beautiful dancer because of these shoulders.
Everyone was.
Yeah, that's the thing. They would do these reality things in the cave, reality shows in the cave for everyone. And it was just like, here's another person who's a beautiful dancer. And everybody's like, we get it.
Sadly, all they had back then was reality. They didn't even have fiction yet.
Yeah, no. But who needs it when you've got such a range of motion?
Yeah.
I have a really limited shoulder motion, and I think it's coming out.
It is pretty obvious.
Yeah, okay.
So the creatures themselves are remarkable, and the fact that we have this new, previously unknown hominid species is pretty amazing.
They're you said they have human hands and feet. They're also very, very slender.
And they were probably around 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. And they have very tiny heads.
Yeah.
And a very tiny brain, which is not usually a good sign if you're looking for intelligence in creatures.
Sure. So their brains are slightly larger than a chimpanzee's.
Yeah.
And they are about 5 feet tall.
And the crazy thing is they say there are more similarities between them than there are in the average set of identical twins of Homo sapien sapien, right? So these are creatures that looked very similar to one another. They think that this is a multi-generational family. But the craziest thing about this story, Anthony, isn't even the fact that we found this species. It's how we found this species. Because they were
in a storage space.
It was a storage wars episode.
It was a storage auction. And somebody paid $300 for it because they thought they saw some baseball cards.
Yeah, no baseball cards at all, by the way.
That's what's crazy.
That's the craziest part. No, this is a part of Africa where we have found actually a lot of ancient humans or hominids. They call it the Cradle of Humankind. Which is this famous place in Africa. But there's also a bunch of caves that amateur spelunkers can investigate. So some amateur people found this cave.
Well, they're real people. They're professional people.
No, they're just amateur people.
So what you're saying is
they're not.
They were Homo Naledi.
Yeah,
and they knew where these would be because they are the same.
It's the only explanation that makes any sense
Fucking
at all.
Amateur people.
So
trying to get one over on us with their tiny ass brains. We see your con. We see your con game.
Long con. 30,000 years of con. No, this is a group of cave explorers that found this cave. They say the entrance to this cave is very tiny. It's only 17.8 centimeters across. So you have to squeeze to get in. It's complete darkness inside.
Yeah.
So I'm out. First of all, I'm not going on the mission. So sorry. Bye. I'm not attending. And then what they found inside this cave that is in complete darkness, they found an incredible amount of these remains. There are so many specimens. They say it might as well be as if the floor is lined with bones. So many that they think this might be a
prehistoric Hannibal situation.
Always with the Hannibal situations with you.
It could be a prehistoric Hannibal situation.
You think that Hannibal lived in the cave?
Maybe not a Hannibal situation, but maybe like a secondary, like a B arc character.
All his little tiny brained friends, he murdered them, ate their bodies, and left them in this cave. This is your theory?
This was his design, yes. Yes.
Little Homo Naledi Hannibal.
Yeah.
Right.
In tiny little, like really thin double-breasted suits.
Well, where you may be right is that they think this might have been...
His ties had knots that were as wide as his stupid cone head.
They think this might have been an actual burial site, which leads them to think that these very tiny-brained creatures were pretty sophisticated because we have no record of creatures burying their dead in one specific place this far back.
Yeah.
And that takes a level of intelligence that we wouldn't ascribe to something that has this small of a brain.
One of the things that I found is interesting is like they said that the earliest evidence of controlled fire is within 1,000 meters of where they found this graveyard.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because this could be like some weird offshoot of like around the same time as like they said the Australopiths, I think. Mm-hmm. This could be some weird, crazy offshoot that is responsible for a lot of the first discoveries in society.
Right.
Like it's entirely possible that controlled fire was something they figured out and like, oh, competing species or other, predecessors saw them doing it and picked it up from them.
Yeah,
that's nuts!
Because they said that no animal goes into a space it cannot see in. So the fact that remains in this place at all in complete darkness is pretty weird because they wouldn't go in there and there's no evidence that they had any problem in there or that they were eaten by predators in there or anything. They just found remains and it seems like they went into this completely dark place and left the dead.
Dude,
crazy, dude.
If you're an amateur spelunker, this is the dream.
Is it? Or is it the nightmare?
No, this is the dream. The nightmare is the descent, which is the same thing that this is, except shit goes real bad.
Well, I feel like if I get talked into going on, we're on the African trip. We get talked into going in the 17.8 centimeter crack in the hole in the world.
You go to the Cradle of Mankind, and you're an amateur cave diver.
Yeah.
Of course this is what you want to find. This is what you pay your amateur cave diving dues every year for.
Yeah.
This is why you go to the dumb fucking meetings and you eat the shitty cookies that Sarah brings every time. And you like
Sarah is really got to get better cookies.
It's nice of her to do it.
Yeah.
And so nobody wants to be like, hey, stop doing a nice thing.
Yeah, but they're so dry.
They're so dry. And like we spend 15 minutes of the meetings like reassuring her about the quality of her cookies and not talking about caves.
I know.
I'm there to talk about caves, dog.
Listen,
that's what I'm about.
I'll talk about dry, stale, old stuff a lot, but I don't want them to be cookies.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want some ancient, dry, nasty stuff, and I want cookies, and I don't want a Venn diagram of the two overlapping.
Exactly,
Sarah.
Never
that's not what I pay my. Here's the other thing: is like we pay dues. Like we could order pizza.
I'm so glad we're finally talking about this because I felt like I was the only one that had a problem with Sarah's cookies.
Should we talk about the possible new ancestor of mankind that we found?
No. Let's stick with the cookies.
Okay,
because seriously,
we really need
that's
to
an
get
issue
this.
that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, old business first and then new business. You're right. But seriously though,
I feel like I would lose my shit.
Yeah, you go to Africa. You like this is your one trip every 2 years or something, right? And you like pay out for your vacation, and you go diving, and you send in, maybe you're the slenderest of the group. Maybe you're like a little tiny slender person.
You're like 17.7 centimeters wide.
Well, they said they had to find after they found this cave. Like somebody was able to get in, but they had to find people to excavate the cave.
Yeah.
And they did a worldwide search for people who were anthropologists, archaeologists, like people who were qualified to do this, but also had to be like the tiniest people.
All they found were Homo Naledi.
That's just it.
Just a Homo Naledi volunteers.
That's it. And they were just in like sunglasses and like big hats so you couldn't see how tiny their heads were. And they were just like, we will go in, but we don't think we're going to find anything. It's like, don't you con us, Homo Naledi. We knew you're a Homo Naledi.
Yeah.
We knew it the whole time.
You can wear a whole bunch of beanies.
Yeah.
All stacked on top of each other. You're not going to fool us.
It just you look like a mushroom from Super Mario Brothers. It doesn't make your head look any bigger.
But you know what? God damn it, when you dance, it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and I can't be mad at you.
It's like a dream.
It's so yeah, like these people go over there. They go in, they're like, whoa, we found some shit.
Yeah, they turn their fucking lanterns on, and what do they see? They see a cave full of bones, and I would freak out, man.
Yeah, do you freak? Okay, put yourself in the perspective of somebody who goes on these trips, though.
Yeah, I guess you're already awesome.
Do you bug out, or do you go, fuck yes, you guys?
Yeah.
That's like a Goonies moment.
It is a Goonies moment. I'm imagining that part in Indiana Jones where they go into the complete darkness, and then one guy goes, and it turns on the light.
Yes.
And the whole room is bathed in a soft amber glow flickering from the lantern, and then they just keep panning around, and everywhere they look they see more bones of tiny headed creatures, and then one turns to the other and goes, "You think these were killed by a predator?"
I do a shitty predator.
Did you hear that? Yeah, I was eating one of Sarah's cookies. That's my stomach. I'm sorry, guys.
Sarah. There's so many interesting things about Homo Naledi. They're long distance walkers, which is something that's pretty much unique to humans. There are a few other species that do it, but we're the only ones that do it, and we're certainly the only ones that wear pedometers when we do it.
My favorite line of this article is, these are hands made for climbing, but not made for climbing trees. Mm-hmm. What were they climbing?
Predators. Is that where you're going?
Of bodies, no? Probably. Right. They were just evolved to climb piles of bodies in complete darkness.
It's so crazy. So they don't know how old the fossils are yet. They don't know how long the species lasted or existed. They know it's a minimum of 2 million years old.
Wow.
Close to 3 million. And at the very least, a candidate for the base of our genus.
Wow.
This could be amazing. The first thing.
Whenever I hear stuff like this, first of all, it's amazing to me that we're in 2015, or this was like 2013 when they found it, and we're still finding new shit. the fact that we're finding new shit now is incredible to me.
It's so awesome.
It's awesome. But the other thing I always wonder is, what stuff did we just miss out on finding? You know, what stuff got destroyed or the cave got collapsed in? There's so much, right? Much. When I was recently in Europe and I went to a site in France that dates from the 1st century BC, and there's all these stone structures, and it's incredible to think that humans had such complex systems of community really in those times. And then I wonder how many civilizations were even more spectacular, but they just decided to build with wood, and so we'll never know about it.
Or how many of them were so spectacular that they got off this fucking rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are those hands for climbing? They're for climbing the ramp up to the mothership because they is aliens.
Those fingers were specifically designed to flip switches and push buttons? How is that possible?
And it's almost like it wasn't, we say switches and buttons, but it's almost as though it was interfacing with some sort of a humming, throbbing metal that we don't understand. It was almost like they were made for like just gently caressing in order to control. It's strange, really.
It is so odd. I've never seen fingers built exactly like that on this plane of existence.
Also, we found a plasma cannon.
We probably should have mentioned that up front.
But we had to get this cookie thing out of the way.
You know what? Old business first, new business last.
Yeah, it's like that's how we know who's really interested in Cave Explorers Club.
Yeah.
If you're really into Cave Explorers Club, you're going to let us get through the old business.
Yeah, and you know what? We are running long, so maybe we'll have to tackle that whole plasma cannon thing next week.
Yeah. You know what? If you want, you can take a look on your way out. It is in the throbbing, humming case over there, which seems to be containing its power less and less as time goes on.
Yeah, and right next to that is the little cardboard box with the slit in the top. That's where you put your votes about the cookies. Mm-hmm. We're going to need everybody to put a vote into that box.
Sarah, I don't like that look on your face. This is not a personal thing, Sarah.
Yeah, this isn't about you.
This isn't about you. It's about your bullshit fucking cookies.
Yeah.
All right?
So make sure everybody votes on the cookie issue. We'll tackle
just get some Enamins, Sarah. It's actually easier for you. People love Enamins.
Yeah, she's not listening.
Anyway, that's because her eyes rolled back into her head and there was like a tiny little bit of blood that came out. I'm pretty sure that's about the cookies. And
yeah, it is. Not the fact that she's sitting so close to the cannon that's experiencing entropy in real time.
Has anybody else been getting some weird ideas? They're just coming to them unbidden? Anybody? That's more new business. I'm sorry. We'll talk about it next week. But it's almost like a dreaming state. We'll talk next week.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to head to Chevy's. We're going to get some margaritas if anybody wants to come.
It is a post-meeting tradition. Also, I'm hearing over and over in my head, kill, kill, kill. So maybe we'll do some of that later as well.
Yeah.
And I'll see everybody later. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote on the cookies thing.
No, but you're right. I love that we are still discovering things and ratifying our old discoveries. And, between new technology and adventure tourism.
Thank God.
Thank God
for adventure in the world, man.
Thank God. You know what? The Brocs did it this time.
The Brocs really came through.
All I want to do...
And by coming through, I mean they went through a very tiny crevice in the planet.
Because two Brocs looked at it like, bro, I bet you get stuck in that crevice.
I could totally get through that crevice, bro.
I bet you get stuck in that crevice, bro.
Dude, I've lost like 27 pounds in the last 2.5 years. I could go through that.
Go through it.
I'm going through that.
Go through it.
Oh, God. I can't breathe.
But I do love that. And I do love that we're finding things that are constantly making us question everything we know about ourselves. That's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The fact that it is this continually unraveling mystery that, every time when you're born and you grow up and you feel like, oh, we've gotten to the end point of knowing stuff about the past because the whole world's been explored.
Yeah.
We've found everything. Nope.
No. We're gonna find some shit in those caves. They're gonna turn us into a tree based on the poster for The Descent. I've never actually seen The Descent.
Yeah, you don't want to see that movie.
But yeah, I don't know. What do we want to ask people?
If you had hands used for climbing anything, what would you call
Yeah. Hey, here's what we want to know. We're as good of scientists as the Cave Explorers Club.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think those hands were made to climb? What were Homo Naledi's hands made to climb?
What were they climbing? That's the big mystery here. What were they climbing? Ain't trees.
Ain't trees.
What else is there? Rocks, I guess, maybe?
Dark energy?
I think it was probably piles of corpses.
Who knows? Maybe you. You can tweet your answers to us. Hashtag dry cookies. I'm at acarboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And, this show is entirely listener supported. We don't run ads. We don't have
any other way to make money.
Yeah, that's really it. Like, how do you do things other than running ads? Well, we ask you guys to help us out. If you're enjoying the show, head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. You can go there to find out how to get bonus content, early episodes, and monthly patron hangouts, video hangouts with me and Jeff, which we have been slacking on because we've been traveling so much, but we're bringing them back this month on Thursday the 24th. So if you want to be part of that, head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.